This is what love looks like for many cat owners. Or like this. Or like this. The truth is, that's exactly why our cats often don't love us. Or at least not as much as they actually could. Because it's usually not big mistakes that strain our relationship with our cats. It's the many small moments that we hardly notice, yet they determine whether a cat becomes a cuddle monster that always wants to be with us, or whether she leaves the room just in case when we come in. Please don't get me wrong. Most cat owners love their furry friends with all their hearts. They buy good food, set up scratching posts, play regularly, and pet their cats. And yet, at some point, they notice, my kitty almost never comes to me on her own, doesn't want to cuddle, seems reserved, or even scratches. But why? I'm doing everything for her. The answer lies in two simple but crucial points. And if you pay attention to these points, there's a really good chance your cat will soon love you more than she ever has before. Imagine you're lying on the couch. You're completely relaxed, just made yourself comfortable. Suddenly, a giant leans over you, picks you up, and holds you tightly against them. You didn't ask for it or agree to it, but you have no choice. That's exactly how it feels for cats when we pick them up, hold them tight, or carry them around without them deciding for themselves. For us, it's an expression of affection. We think, I love my cat, so I want to have her close to me. Cuddling must be nice for her too. But for her, it only means, I'm losing control. And for cats, control is everything. In nature, they decide for themselves when to hunt, when to rest, and when and from whom they allow closeness. Any form of coercion causes them stress, even if they appear calm on the outside. Often, this calmness is nothing more than an ancient survival strategy. In nature, sometimes it means safety for a cat to stay still when she has no chance to escape. It's a mix of submission and waiting. The animal outwardly complies while remaining tense inside. Many owners confuse this. A cat that stays still is not automatically happy. Often, she freezes up inside, just waiting for it to be over. Love looks different. This is how the first invisible walls arise between you and your cat. And these walls get thicker every time we demand closeness, not voluntarily, but according to our own needs. We want to cuddle, so we pick her up when it suits us. We think she's cute, so we disturb her at her sleeping spot to pet her. We've had a bad day and seek comfort from her, so we drag her onto the bed to snuggle. But this is exactly what destroys her trust, bit by bit. Because for cats, love means trust and respecting boundaries. If she loses this feeling, she withdraws. But how does she show you that you're going too far? Cats are always talking to us, but they don't do it with words. They communicate with their ears, tail, body posture, and little glances. A slight twitch of the tail, a quick turn of the head, an ear that tilts back. All of these are signals. Signals that say, thanks, but that's enough now. And this is where the real disconnect between humans and cats lies. We overlook these signs. We see the tail twitching nervously and keep petting her. We notice that she turns away and move even closer. We pick her up even though she stiffly spreads her legs and paws. For the cat, this means my human doesn't respect me. Imagine if you kept telling someone clearly to stop doing something and every time they did it again. Would you still ask them nicely 20 more times? Would you still willingly go near them? And what if it just kept happening? Would you eventually, so to speak, show your claws? That's exactly what happens with cats. They learn my signals are worthless. The result? Sometimes they become quieter and more withdrawn, sometimes distant, and in some cases even aggressive. And then the human says, my cat just isn't cuddly, or cats are such divas. Maybe you even recognize this in yourself. Your cat comes over, lies down next to you, seeks closeness. You pet her, she purrs, but at some point she stops purring. Move your tail and you'll still keep going. Until she gets up and leaves and you ask yourself, why is she so moody? The answer is simple. She politely told you she wanted a break and you didn't listen. And she was once again confirmed. Only when I leave can I get some peace. There is no moment when the cat suddenly decides, now I love you less. It happens quietly, bit by bit. Every time you hold her, even though she wants to leave. Every time you pet her, even though she turns away. Every time you wake her up in her sleeping spot just to cuddle her. This is how your presence turns from a gift into a risk for her. And risks are instinctively avoided. Maybe you've already noticed your cat doesn't come to you on her own as often anymore, or maybe she never has. She prefers to lie down in a corner where she won't be disturbed. She seems reserved, distant, and you think that's just her nature or typical cat behavior. And this is exactly the misunderstanding that torments so many owners. They think my cat doesn't love me. Maybe I'm not the right person for her. Or maybe she's not capable of loving people at all. But that's not true. She wants to allow your love and love you, but she loves her freedom even more. If you don't respect her freedom, she has to protect herself from you. That might sound sad, but actually it's good news because it means you can change it right away. The solution is almost ridiculously simple. Let your cat decide. If she comes to you, wonderful. If she purrs, if she seeks your closeness, if she leans against you, enjoy it. But if she leaves, if she turns away, if she shows signals that tell you enough, then let her go. It sounds too simple to be true, but it changes everything. The hardest part about it is really just your own self-discipline, or in other words, sometimes keeping your hands to yourself. The moment your cat realizes, my language is understood, my freedom is respected, she begins to trust you, and this trust is the foundation for true love. You might be asking yourself, and what does that do for me? She already lies next to me quite often. Honest answer, much more than you could have ever imagined. A cat that chooses to bond with you voluntarily seeks your company more often, more intensely, and much more genuinely. She comes to you on her own, stays longer, trusts you more deeply, and looks forward to seeing you. You'll notice that suddenly she lies on your lap more often instead of just next to you. She regularly looks around for you. She greets you at the door when you come home. She sleeps with you in your bed. She talks to you more often. Your relationship with each other reaches a completely different level. Maybe your cat is lying next to you right now while you're watching this video. Maybe she's sleeping peacefully in her bed, or maybe she's sitting at the window. If you give her back the choice, you'll see how things start to change. It might take days, but it could also take weeks or months, but it will happen. And then you'll realize, it would have been so easy. I just needed to look more closely. And cats see the world completely differently than we do, almost as if they're moving in their own reality. That's an incredibly fascinating topic, and there's a separate video about it. Feel free to click on the image that's shown, and then I'll see you in the next video.